We are about to share with you some very exciting news. Mark April 12th on your calendars, because banks nationwide will begin to distribute $2,400 Social Security payments on that date. We have all the information you need to know in our most recent video. You may be asking yourself, what's the big deal? All right, let me explain it to you simply. These $2,400 checks are like a bonus. They're a little something extra to ease the burden of paying bills, buying groceries, or perhaps even treating yourself to something nice. This money is meant to assist. But there's still more. We're not simply discussing any old check here. We are discussing checks that are meticulously scheduled and prepared by the banks to guarantee that you receive your money on schedule. Yes, there's no need to wait around speculating about when it will materialize. It's almost time to celebrate April 12th, so start getting psyched. The best part is that you can contribute to ensuring that everything runs well. You might wonder, how? First of all, by making sure your financial details are current. In this manner, there won't be any hiccups in sending your money where it has to go on the big day. These $2,400 Social Security checks are reason to celebrate, regardless of whether you're hoping for a little additional breathing room in your budget or just some peace of mind, knowing that your finances are in order. Let's begin with the fundamentals. Where is this money coming from, and who gave the go-ahead for such a big Social Security payout? The President and Congress approved the $2,400 payout as part of the Inflation Relief Act of 2024 to give the quick solution. The act, as its name suggests, was a historic piece of legislation designed to assist Americans in adjusting to the extreme inflation that will be experienced in 2022 and 2023, particularly those who rely on fixed incomes such as Social Security. Prices for necessities such as food, petrol, and housing skyrocketed at a rate not seen in decades, and Social Security is set up to raise benefits every year in accordance with Consumer Price Index data on inflation. Those typical cost of living adjustments rapidly seemed insufficient in the face of the unprecedentedly high price surge. Seniors saw a sharp decline in their purchasing power as they quickly fell behind. The Inflation Relief Act was designed to address this. The majority of Social Security pensioners were to get these special $2,400 inflation aid payments, which was one of the main stipulations. Lawmakers understood that beyond the regular adjustments in COLA, more drastic action was required. Data regarding how much of the recent inflation had eaten away at average Social Security benefits and retirement savings over the previous 2 years was used to determine the $2,400 number. In the decades-long history of the program, it is the greatest one-time payment made to Social Security claimants. The Inflation Relief Act's principal proponent, Senator Jacqueline Hopkins, stated, "This is a critical lifeline for millions of seniors and retirees who were getting by just fine until prices went haywire in 2022 and 2023. Social Security has always had their back, but these payments will help them catch up after a period of costs spiraling out of control." All right, so we now know the source of this funding and the rationale for the government's decision. But on April 12th, who precisely is going to get that $2,400 check? The requirements are not too complicated. You have to be getting Social Security retirement benefits right now, which includes disability and survivor's benefits. Sadly, Supplemental Security Income, SSI beneficiaries are not qualified for the payments intended to offset inflation. There are a few more crucial prerequisites to be aware of. Prior to April 2024, you had to have been receiving Social Security benefits for a minimum of 12 months. Hence, individuals who have only recently begun receiving compensation within the past year are ineligible. Your total income from all sources, not just Social Security, must not exceed $85,000 per year. The maximum family income for benefit-eligible married couples is $170,000. You have to be a resident of a U.S. territory, Washington, D.C., or one of the 50 U.S. states. Furthermore, you cannot be included on someone else's tax return as a dependent. Most seniors receiving Social Security payments are anticipated to meet those requirements and automatically be paid $2,400 on April 12th, either by mail or direct transfer. Let's do some fast math. This $2,400 one-time payment has a total estimated cost of approximately $120 billion, given that over 50 million retirees receive Social Security benefits each month. That's a significant adjustment to the federal government's budget as well. For those who are not enrolled automatically, requesting the $2,400 payment through the Social Security Administration will involve a pretty simple application process. Beginning in mid-March, the SSA website and local offices will provide comprehensive information on how to apply according on your particular situation. One piece of advice is to submit your application as soon as you can. Millions are anticipated to apply for these payouts, so if you wait too long, there may be delays and lengthy waits. There are a couple more important aspects about these $2,400 payments to be aware of, in addition to the eligibility requirements. To start with, they are totally tax-free and won't be deducted from your income, which can affect your eligibility for other government benefits. Therefore, you don't have to worry about paying taxes on that money later. You can use it any way you see fit. Furthermore, even if the payout is $2,400, your actual payment amount can vary slightly depending on your unique Social Security circumstances. For instance, a percentage can be automatically taken if you receive minor benefits and owe money on federal debt. Conversely, individuals who get both disability and retirement benefits may receive a lump sum payout that is closer to $2,800. Additionally, there has already been discussion in Washington about the possibility of extending or raising these $2,400 payments in the upcoming year, contingent on the persistence of strong inflation. Although it is currently being considered a one-time payment, retirees may receive more inflation support in 2025 if the cost of living continues to be significantly impacted. So, if you qualify for this $2,400 payment, what should you do? Above all, in the coming weeks, keep an eye out for formal correspondence from the Social Security Administration that will include all the information regarding your eligibility and the amount of your payment. As previously stated, if you do not receive an automated enrollment, apply for the payment immediately. Make that the SSA has the most recent version of your payment information, including your bank account data. The best course of action, then, is probably to use that money to support your short-term finances in the face of high inflation once it hits. Reduce debt, buy non-perishable necessities while they're still cheap, or put money aside for future expenses you know will rise quickly, like rent or medical bills. Even while $2,400 might not seem like much to some, it can make a big impact when prices are skyrocketing. Lastly, never stop advocating to elected authorities for the long-term preservation and enhancement of Social Security. Although this $2,400 one-time payout is a much-needed relief, it only addresses the immediate symptoms of the underlying issue of growing costs exceeding fixed revenue sources. The two political parties have discussed topics pertaining to bolstering the long-term resources and benefits of Social Security by increased employment incentives, tax reforms, and other measures. Given that Americans are living longer than ever, it is imperative that Social Security remain equitable and affordable for upcoming generations. This special payment serves as a cushion for the time being, but as inflation and longevity estimates continue to change, more significant reforms will eventually be required to support seniors in maintaining their standard of living. For the time being, however, millions of seniors can relax, knowing that additional funds are on their way to provide them a little more breathing room during these difficult economic times. The least these seniors should get after decades of arduous labor and Social Security system contributions is $2,400 in inflation aid. Just remember to always make your claims when they're due. Make sure you're first in line when those money begin to flow on April 12th by getting ahead of the process. Of course, there are detractors and debates surrounding this extraordinary $2,400 reward. There are many who contend that increasing funding is not a viable long-term solution to the issues facing Social Security. They argue that instead of focusing on negotiating lower medication prices, controlling healthcare expenditures, or changing the formula for annual cost of living increases, Congress should instead undertake policies to control escalating costs. Jonathan Levi is a policy analyst at the American Action Forum think tank. A $2,400 check stuffed into people's pockets may earn some political points in the short term, but it doesn't actually fix any of the systemic issues causing costs to skyrocket for seniors, Levi said. It's essentially putting an incredibly expensive Band-Aid on an arterial wound when what's needed is major financial surgery on the whole system.